Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Uloma Ezike. My friends call me Lomzy, so you can go ahead and call me Lomzy. Today I'll be sharing with you guys the picture you chose. I sent 2 pictures on my community page to ask you guys which of the tutorials you will want me to send, and most of you guys chose picture number 1. As at the time I'm making this video, I'm saying picture number 1 because a lot of you guys in the comment section were saying 111. Most people liked picture number 2, so I don't know what that like means. So I am going to be working with the people that commented picture number 1. If you want picture number 2, do let me know in the comment section so you can go ahead and just also type 2. So but I'm going to be working with what I have on ground now because I'm making the video now. And again, I'll be sharing pictures on my community for you guys to choose which of the video you want me to make. That way, one, I will know what kind of video you want me to make, and secondly, I'll be able to work with what I have on ground. Like, it's not easy making videos. Guys, it's not easy. I don't have to start explaining that today. It's not easy for us to make videos on sewing tutorials kind of thing. So I am going to be working with the fabrics that I have, so I don't go ahead and you tell me whatever you want me to make and I don't get to make that because I don't have fabrics for it. If this is your first time coming across my channel, consider subscribing and hit the notification bell icon so you join part of the Lomzy teams, guys, because on this channel I share videos of trendy designs and I make them simple that any beginner will understand. Now for today's video, guys, let's go sewing. So first of all, I'll be walking you through the measurements we are going to be using. Her measurements, we're working with bust 36, waist 33, and hips 42. And the length we're working with is 58 inches. Yeah. So first thing you're going to be doing is you're going to be folding your fabric. You're just going to cut in one piece like this, and you're going to be folding it into 2. And when folding it, this side is the upper side. Make sure is the upper side you're folding against this way. So when you have folded it, this is the back of it, right? Yeah, so this one, the front of the fabric will be showing up. I hope you understand what I mean. Yes, so I am working with one piece folded into 2. I'm running you through that again so that you understand what I mean. Yes, so now what you're going to be doing next is you're going to be taking the measurement of the shoulder. That's how the other side, the side that falls. We want to make sure this one, the length we have is, this one, the length we have is 28 inches. That's what you're making sure this one would be. But this one, just fold it and whatever you have. And if the person is big on the big side, as in extra, you can make it 30 inches. That is so that it will get to the wrist. But if you don't want it getting to the wrist, that is dependent on what you want to make. But I'm making exactly what we have on the thumbnail. So that I'm using 28 inches and I have folded in 2. Yes. So the next thing I have to do is to take these measurements down. So I am going to be taking, it's so unfortunate that I'm going to be working with colored when my fabric is actually white and I'm using tailor's chalk. I hope it doesn't show, but anyways, I can do anything for you guys. So now what we're going to be taking down is the armhole depth. Armhole depth is 9 inches. And I will mark that like that. I'm just going to be marking, guys. I'm not going to be making it full so that don't get to stain the white so much. So the next thing I will take is the waist measurement, which is 17 inches. I will take that down. The next one is the hips measurement. The hips line, I take that down at 25. And then the length of the dress, which is 58 inches, and I'm going to be adding 2 inches to that. So this is what I have here now. So I am going to be starting by taking these measurements, round, the bust measurement, waist and all of that. So what we are going to be working with is the hips measurement. Remember, whenever you're doing this kind of dresses, you use the largest part of the body to, you know, divide whatever you want. So we're using the hips measurement to divide this, and the hips measurement we have is 42 inches. I'm going to be dividing that into 4, and what I will get is 10.5. And I'm not going to be adding any allowance to that, because as you can see on the thumbnail, the dress is fitted. It has a close fitting look. It has a close fitting silhouette, so I'm not going to be adding any sewing allowance, any easing allowance to that, meaning I am just going to do 10.5 plus sewing allowance. So it depends on the sewing allowance you want to work with. I'm going to be working with ½ inch, so I am making this 11 inches. So 11 here, 11 here, and 11 on the hips. Yeah guys, I would have taken this measurement, but I am not going to be taking them down, because I don't want a lot of the chalk to stain. So when I have it like this, what I am going to be doing next is I'm going to be taking this straight down, and I'm going to be connecting this line to this. Remember, I just told you guys I'm not going to, because of my chalk, this is white, I don't want to. So I'm going to be taking this down like so. Yeah. So on the upper side, I am going to be taking the shoulder width and the neckline. So the neckline we're working with is 3.5 inches. I will mark that here. And the shoulder we're working with is 15 inches. I will add ½ inch sewing allowance to that, and I will get 8 inches. And I'm going to be dropping that here like so. Connect it. Yeah. So the neck depth we're working with, this is the front of the dress. So the neck depth we're working with is 4 inches. And I will connect this like this. Then I'm going to be dropping the shoulder sloping with 7 inches. I'll mark that there like that. And I'm going to be connecting this line to this line and extend it down way that side. So I will do this like that. Yeah. The next thing I would do is to shape the body. So on the bust, I'm going to be coming in 1 inch, and on the waist, I'm going to be coming in 1.5 inches. Then I have to connect this to this and this to that. Then it joins with this one. So this is what we have here. So I am going to be marking the armhole curve like so. Yeah. So I am going to be cutting this following this one. But for the neckline, I'm going to be cutting that way. Cut this way here, then I cut just this one. So let me just cut this so that you understand what I mean. So the neck line, I am going to be cutting just this for this one, the outer side. Yeah, so this is what we have here. So what I'm going to be doing is I am going to be marking this line. I'm going to be following this line to mark this. So remember, this side I've not marked anything. I just started my marking from here. So as you can see, remember, that is why I said you have to mark this. You have to make sure this side is up. The front. That's why I said you have to make sure the front part of the fabric is facing up on this side, so that you'll be able to use this to, you know, sew on the dress when you're sewing it. Coming to the back, that one we did was the front. Now we're coming to the back. Now guys, you have to take note here because this is very important. Now that we're working with the back of the fabric is what is going to be showing up, so that it will correspond with the right side when we are joining it. So again, we're going to be repeating the same thing we did on the front. We're going to be repeating it for the back, you know, these measurements. But the only difference we're going to be doing now is we're going to be adding allowance at the back. Now this allowance at the back, it depends on what you want, the type of slit you want to have. Like for me, I want an inverted pleat at the bottom side, so that's why I have this 5 inches here. 5 inches for my inverted pleat at the back. You know, she didn't tell me to add an inverted pleat, but because I didn't ask her, I am going to be assuming she wouldn't want the back to be open. So I am going to be using this part as my inverted pleat. So this would be the center of my back, the center of the back. So this is where we're starting our measurements from. This is the armhole length, the waist length, and the hip length. And then we have the length of the dress. Again, would make this the hips measurement divided by 4, which is 10.5. This time around, instead of adding half-inch sewing allowance to make it 11, I'm going to be adding 1 inch allowance, making it 11.5. And that half-inch is for my zipper allowance. So I am going to be measuring 11.5 here, like that. 11.5 inches. Same here. And I'm going to be taking this down like so. Then I get the shoulder length, which is 8. Take down on the armhole line, connect this, take down 0.75 shoulder sloping. Remember, we use 3.5 inches for the neck width, and the back width we're going to be using is 1 inch. So I will mark that here, and I'm going to be connecting this to this. Now again, I'm going to be dropping the shoulder like that. Good. So the same thing, 1 inch, 1.5 inches, and then connect the lines. Then the armhole depth, the armhole curve will be like this. My inverted pleat is going to be starting at 32. I am going to be cutting off all these things, so just watch. I'm going to cut it. The next thing we have to do is to cut one sleeve for this part of the dress. For the sleeve, we're working with just one sleeve, so I have this fabric like this. The length of the sleeve I'm working with is 23 inches, and so that's what I'm going to be working with, because I'm not going to be hemming the arms, so I'm not going to be adding any sewing allowance to that. I have a video on how I make my sleeve, so you just go ahead and I will drop that video on how to make a sleeve, so you go ahead and learn that. So let me just quickly run this out. So next we have to do is to mark where we're going to be having, you saw those things there. Yeah, we're going to be marking where we want them to be. So I want the first one to be 10 inches and the second one would be 16 inches. So these are the two places I'm going to be having gathers on. Now the fabric I'm using doesn't have the same scallop with the one in the picture, so this is what I'm going to be using. But if it was that picture, what I will actually do is to cut out the circles in them, place them here and sew them, you know, and it will turn over. But because my scallop is like this, I am going to be gathering my own. Yeah, so I'm going to be gathering it. When I sew it, I turn it that way. So this is what I am going to be doing to this. Yeah, to the front part, I am going to be marking where I will have the rounded design on front. So I'm going to be marking it like this. I'll make sure I trace the same thing on the other part of the fabric. Yeah, so as you can see, I can see everything because of the lace. So yes, if it was the same fabric the client used, you know, there's this round designs. So with that, I am just going to place it like so. Each of them, I'm going to be cutting them out, put each of them like this, like that, sew it round, and when I turn it, it will be like this. But because my scallop is this way, I'm going to be cutting mine straight and I'm going to be gathering it. Do the same thing. I will sew it the same way and it will turn that way. So guys, we have come to the end of today's class. If you want me to share a video on how to sew this, let me know in the comment section. Remember, communication is key. if you guys don't communicate, how do I know the type of people watching my content? So drop in the comment section if you want me to drop a video on how I made this. Yes, I'll be happy to do that. Yeah, so guys, I will be showing you guys outcome of this dress. So see you on my next video. Bye bye.